Hey everyone, this is Scourge Neo. Well, Chris Miasma basically asked me to go and do a deck profile, so I thought I would go and just give you guys a taste of how I play, how I build decks, my thinking process behind it, something unique and interesting. So basically, what you're going to see right now is my Royal Paladin build. This is going to be a hybrid between Alt Mile and Sanctuary Guard, so if you have any questions as to why I would do it, hopefully I'll be able to explain it. Starting out, as a starter, I run Jump Gall, and then I additionally run another 2. Basically, Jump Gall's ability is that when you're at Generation Break 1, you can go and give him another 5,000 the ability to intercept at all times, making him essentially an extra 10k intercept that's grade 1 or less. And I run an extra 2 so that way I can go and do a front row of this, as well as get an extra couple of 10k shields. So they've come in handy. I used Milius for a while, but I kind of got bored of using the same thing, so I thought maybe I'll just try and tag this in. So essentially he's there to be an extra 10k intercept. For triggers, since I am running an Alt Mile build, I run 4 Bringer of Dreams Balinius. For aesthetic choices, I'll do 4 Knight of Flash, is another crit, so I have 8 crits in here. For draws, I personally use Margot, since it lets me go and have an extra ability off on it, and lets me move the soul if I go and call it to rear guard. And I also go and run 4 heals. So I basically just run an 8 crit 4 draw. It's dependable, it goes and gets the job done. As for that punch, the deck goes and has so much power behind it anyway, so using stands I kind of felt was a little bit irrelevant. Plus it contradicts the ability to call out grade 2s and grade 1s for more attacks, so it kind of contradicted that, so I didn't really see it. When I first built it, I tried it out, it didn't seem to really go very well. Next for grade 1s, I run 3 AKs, since I don't really have anything better to go and use it at that point. I thought about putting in Battle Song Angels because of the resistant plus 2k to go and make Sanctuary Guard part of it more effective, but it was like, eh. I run 3 Stride Enablers. I don't really think I need to go and explain that much. You know, I can go and use this as Stride fodder if I don't have grade 3s. These, you can search out a copy of Alt Mile by ditching a copy of another card if you have it in your hand. I run 4 Holy Knight Guardians. Basically, it's a countercharging perfect, so when you go and nullify an attack on a Vanguard, if you have another copy in the drop zone, you can basically put up a point of damage so I can reuse it. I run 2 Shot Putter as a tech choice. Basically, when you're at G-Break 1 and you sack it, you can give 2 units of your choice another 5,000 power, so I find it helps as a 7k body, and you can go and plus up your front row, or like your rear guards. If you already power them up with, Alt Mile Stride bonus, you can power them up by another 5,000. Or you can power up your rear guards if you have, like, going for game with Sanctuary Guard, you can power them up by another 5,000 as well. As another tech choice, I run 2 Lake Maid in the end. Basically, if it's your first turn and you have something in your hand you don't really need, you can just ride this, and on your first turn you can rest it when it's on Vanguard or rear guard, ditch it from your hand, hopefully draw into something else. It helps you cycle through your stuff. I find it a good choice too. Next up for grade 2, since this moves, I run 3 Blaster Blade Spirit. Basically, it's a 10k body that you can go and use to retire opponents' front row rear guard gets grade 2 or higher. It's cost of 1. You can go and it's a 10k body outside of a 10k vanilla, so it's useful. And usually I want to go in the end game of this deck, sack my grade 2s out for it. I run 3 Knight of Refinement Benzel, which basically says that when you're at G-Break 1, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast, if your Vanguard has Alt Mile's name, search your deck for a grade 2, name this card, call out to rear guard, both this and that unit get another 2,000. Just gets you some extra attacks, it'll let you fill up your rear guard a little more easily, it's dependable and reliable for early on when you're just getting off Generation Break. And just getting off a few more attacks, which is what the deck is designed to go and do. 2 Knight of Twin Swords. Basically, when he attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1. If he's boosted, call a grade 2 not named Knight of Twin Sword from your deck and shuffle. Go. Extra attacks, pretty standard with this deck. 2 Knight of Fragment. Basically, when you're at Chi Break 1 and you have at least 2 other grade 2 units, one or another grade 2 unit, you can countercharge and soul charge, and it gets another when its attack hits, and it gets another 2,000. I understand people would probably say, like, why wouldn't you run some of these at 4? Well, the thing is that I find that you don't really need to run 4. If you're running 4 of something like that, it seems like you're overcompensating for your deck's shortcomings. You're trying to overexert it. So I find it's unnecessary, and I never really don't need it. You don't need those extra copies. I can see why people would go and argue that, but I just don't find it really consistent. For my grade 3s right now, I have 3 Blue Sky Knight Altmile. Basically, his abilities are when you're at G Break 2, your entire front row gets plus 5,000, and when you stride on top of him, you can counterblast 1, go and call up to 2 cards. Up to 2. You don't have to call anything if you don't want. Up to 2 cards from your hand, and then choose 2 of your rear guards, and they get up to 2 of them, and they get 5,000 power. Basically, you can just counterblast 1 to give 2 units 5,000 power. You know, there's nothing saying that you can't go and do that. Right now, for the next card, I have only 1 Sanctuary Guard, but I want to go and replace it. I want to go back to 4 Altmile and then 3 Sanctuary Guard. Basically, when you're at a limit break, you know, it gets plus 3,000 for every grade 1 or lower you have. When you place it on Vanguard, you can go and ditch a card from your hand to search out for grade 1, so it makes up for the lack of weakness that Altmile's calling grade 2s continue for extra attack strategy he fails at because you keep calling your grade 2s. I have 3 Sanctuary Guard guarantee. Unfortunately, it's not as bad, but I would rather have Sanctuary Guards. Basically, when you're at G Break 1, when he attacks, you can go and he gets 3,000 for every grade 1 or lower that you have. And surprisingly, when he's on rear guard, you can counterblast 1 to give him another 3,000 when he attacks. So he's kind of like those grade 3s that you would get in trial decks where it's like counterblast 1 at 3,000 power. So it's okay, but I would rather run something else. For strides, I run 4 Saint Blows. Basically, when you go and have him in your Vanguard circle, you can choose a copy of him from your G zone and turn him face up, and then, otherwise known as Persona Flip. And then for each rear guard you have, give him another 3,000. If you have 2 or more, he gets an extra critical. I find that he's really good for a mid-game or late-game push, depending on what you want to go and do. This deck, honestly, sometimes I don't even consider this my end game. Some people would consider me blasphemous for saying, like, oh, why would you not go and do an end game with Saint Blow Dragon? And it's so good, it's supposed to end games. I'm like, well, yeah, but that's not necessarily how I designed the deck to go and work. Another strat I run is 2 Shroud Divine Knight Gabblade. Basically, when his attack, he's kind of a really kind of generic stride for Royal Paladin. When his attack hits, you get to search out your deck, choose a grade 2, call it out. It gets off an extra attack. It's okay. Hey, I find it's better than, say, Samuel, who basically forces you to use 2 counterblasts and then deal an extra point of damage and just outside of that. And that's not even guaranteeing your attack's going to go and hit, and you're using 2 counterblasts for that. I tried teching it back in, and I just found it was just really, I didn't really like it. And then finally, I run 2 Holy Dragon Sanctuary Guard Regale. This I consider is the endgame unit, simply because the way the deck is structured, if you go and play it right, you're basically plussing your entire front row by anywhere from 9 to 15,000. That's not including if they are grade 9 to 15,000, depending on what you have. That's not including if Jump Gall is on the field. Basically, the last game I played with this, my first attacking unit had a total base power or anything of 32,000. That was a rear guard. The Vanguard swung in for 48. That was insane to me, and I can see why. I don't understand really why they are only about like 50 cents a piece. They're really good. Even if you only have regales, they're actually, you only need a Harvest Sanctuary Guard as heart. That alone makes it good. Good enough. The restriction, if you play it with Sanctuary Guard cards, it's easy to work around, and it's not too hard of a, it's not too hard of a card to really go and use. It's a really decent card, and when I saw it, I was like, it looks like it's interesting. Try playing it by itself. It was decent. Playing with stands, it was fun. And then I teched in 2 copies of this, and then Sanctuary Guard Regalies. I teched in Sanctuary Guard Regalies, and then Guarantees into this just to have something different, and oh my god, it took the deck to an entirely different level. So I really think this is an underrated card. It seems like it's ruling the meta in Japan right now. Maybe it's still ruling the meta over here. I don't know. I haven't been to enough regional events, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, that basically is my competitive Royal Paladins. So yeah, if you want to check out my channel, it's Scourge Neo on YouTube. As always, thank you for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe.